bro, if you are in this country right now and if you cannot appreciate the enthusiasm that Donald Trump is bringing back into this nation, you cannot go any further but detailing what happened with regards to the Super Bowl halftime show last night, right? And the reason why I say this is because you had a performer who wanted to headline the show dressing in a dress. Let's disregard the fact of race, right? Let's just go on this two factors. First and foremost, you had him wanting to dress in a dress, and not only that, you had him wanting to dress in a dress in the performance of the Super Bowl halftime show, but dressing in a dress, and then had the audacity to say that he was going to kiss a man. So let's just go into how the fans responded to the NFL when it regarded to having someone on those two aspects alone perform in the NFL halftime show. All right, we're gonna go to the boy over here, man. I know a lot of y'all know who this is. He's, hella popular. But the reason why I go in with him is because, he gonna keep it real, bro. And I'm gonna keep it real with him.
It's like them. I'm just one person. I can't absorb everything. No Diddy. But there are a couple of reasons why people are really, really just turned off to Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. First of all, the man hardly speaks any English. I know y'all like to act like America doesn't have a national language, but it does. It's English. I'm not one of those people who feels like if you don't speak English, you need to get out. But if you don't speak English, you can't have an attitude when people don't speak English. That'd be my only problem. Especially if you've been in this country for like 10, 15 years. How the hell you not speak no damn English? Can you imagine how stupid I would look if I went to China and I've been there for 5 years and I don't speak no damn Mandarin? Just dumb. Not only is bad.
First and foremost, I think the whole lot of the changes with regards to the whole transformation, in particularly in LA, when we start to really see a change in the whole enthusiasm for you being an American and you knowing English, it really changed in LA with regards to Mayor Viragosa. And this is one reason why, first and foremost, man, I think that what needs to be considered is that to run a political office, man, you have to have a heightened citizenship. Like, you can't be, you need to have at least 3 generations in the United States with regards to citizenship before you can run for political office. And one of the reasons why is that when I look at the Democratic Party, and I'll probably be able to go into this, right? But when I look at the Democratic Party, a lot of times what I see a whole lot of first, second generation politicians fighting for the rights of their parents instead of what's right for the country. They fight for the rights of their parents more than they like to fight for the rights of the country. And I can understand why, because they're your parents, man. They did a lot for you. They came over across from whatever country they came in from into this country to make a better life for themselves, and all right for you in that matter. And so you feel some type of passion with regards to seeing your parents. That's just like a black man who goes to the NFL. The first thing he want to do is buy his mama a house, which is anyway. But yet and still, I can feel that. So what I think what needs to happen with regards to politicians being able to run in political office, to be a politician to run in political office, man, you need to at least be 3rd generation United States citizen. You have to have a heightened citizenship for it to be declared that you are fit for governance in this country. But
Bunny not really an English speaker. No big deal, really. He speak a little English. He speak enough. You know what I'm saying? He really don't have no songs in English, which is kind of weird for the Super Bowl. Football overtook America's pastime a long time ago. It used to be baseball, but now it's football, arguably the biggest American sporting event. And you're gonna have a man headline it who proudly told America, "You better learn some Spanish before my show." You don't think that's off-putting to Americans?
That sounds like Merritt and Virgos saying that if you want a good job in California or in Los Angeles, you better learn some Spanish if you want to be able to survive in the city of LA, in the county of LA. You have got to learn a second language. Isn't and it's nothing wrong with wanting to know a second language, right? And I have but we don't use it all the time. Everybody is not using it all the time. So even if you do use, even if you begin to learn a language, if you're not in use of it all the time, here you are, you forgetting certain, vocabulary when it comes to just the knowledge of that language. You know what I'm saying? There's only certain terms that's going to actually stick out. So it's nothing wrong with knowing a second language, but forcing it down your throat for the sake of your livelihood in your own country is wrong, bro. That's wrong.
You don't think that's strange? But also, and I cannot stress this enough, Bad Bunny is a big ubiquitous promoter. He be kissing men on stage, painted fingernails. He twerks slash be around twerking men. Rumor has it he's gonna wear a dress in order to celebrate ubiquitous icons. This may or may not be true. I haven't taken the time to verify it. I would much rather be surprised. To see, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch both halftime shows. Turning Point USA is having an alternative halftime show, and I'm gonna watch Bad Bunny and them too. I'm gonna compare the two, and I'm gonna see which one is more enjoyable.
And I don't think the Turning Point halftime show was that much more, marketed in terms of giving individuals the alternative to watching somebody who was going to promote that they were going to dress in a dress and then also kiss a man. I mean, listen, as a grown up, that's all right. But as an American pastime show, bro, that was not disrespectful to the country. I think what the NFL was most certainly more scared of with regards to having him or, just not allowing him to, perform for the halftime show after booking him was the backlash that they will face with regards to ICE and all the immigration stuff that's going on right now. Not having them before, and they feel like the backlash for that will be that much more or worse till they became to the point to where it's like, oh, we can't turn back now. However, if that's not disrespectful to force this down our kids' throats, just like the movie industry. I think in the movie industry, they need to have some type of rating systems that would allow you to know if before you take your kids into certain movie theaters, just go see a movie that certain things are going on in regards to that movie that you may not want your kids to necessarily tune into. Why are you forcing this down my throat? You marketing it as this, that, and the other. And you have your kids wanting to go see a show, and when they in the show, here you getting surprised. And then here they is asking you a question about why is such and such and such and such, and how does that work? You know them questions, right? So for them, this to be America's pastime, and you going to force this down our kids' throats when rightfully the USA Turning Point rightfully was justified in coming up with an alternative. I think it was great. I just think that they didn't market it enough. A lot of people didn't know that it was going on. Kid Rock was, I think, one of the headliners. But however, I don't want to see this. I don't want my kids to see this. Not that I don't have any kids, but I wouldn't want to be a parent enjoying a game where men are playing against men, tackling each other, you know, something that is supposed to be one of the most masculine things. And here you are, you're going to disrespect the country.
Because I speak Spanish, I like Spanish music sometimes. I just think it's kind of crazy that he's headlining the Super Bowl. But also, I really do want to see if he's going to wear a dress and if he's supporting these ubiquitous icons and if he's going to kiss a man and do all this weird stuff that he does at his shows, because he does all this stuff. I've seen the pictures and videos.
No, I didn't want to see it. I was gonna wait till the news come on for me to actually know, because I didn't want. I can see all this on the news. That could be on the news, but in terms of watching the halftime show, I was glad that I was only able to watch about probably the first 30 minutes of the football game, and I had to get up out of here. I had to go and do other things, but so I wasn't able to enjoy the Super Bowl. However, just knowing that, matter of fact, I thought that Bad Bunny performing at the halftime show was through vote until I actually began to watch the Super Bowl game itself and realized that he was actually going to play, or actually going to perform. So, man, listen, I didn't want to see it. I just wanted to know, was he actually going to come on the stage and dress, with a dress on and kiss a dude? Like,
not pleasant to look at. It's quite off-putting, actually. But we've reached a point in American society to where we want all this ubiquitous identity stuff pushed to the forefront. Well, in 2026, the adults are back in the room.
Cisgender is a made-up word. Cisgender that means nothing. Do not call me cisgender. I am a woman. This gentleman sitting next to me, he is a man. That's who he is.
It's very simple. Y'all are making it complicated. Just like the Super Bowl. They done made it complicated. They done sold out traditional, regular American stuff to get the ubiquitous and the global community. Because you see, that's what the NFL and companies in America are about, is making more money. You know how corporations roll? Let's say my corporation.
And doesn't cis mean like something like a disease, something like inflammation? Like, why would you want a female to be called cis? Like, she is the disease, and not ain't it the other way around? Like,
made $2.5 billion last year. Next year, if we make $2.1 billion, we consider it a failure. You see, inflation happens because the people who make so much money have to make more every year. I got news for you. If you make $2 billion and you only make $1.8 billion the next year, you know what you made? $1.8 billion. But y'all be thinking about the 0.2. It's greed. Greed is the reason why Bad Bunny is the halftime Super Bowl performer, because they want the global eyes and the ubiquitous eyes. They see how much money he generated on tour. They're like, wow, people love this guy. They're going to tune in to watch. And they will. But at what cost? And I'm also very curious to see what the Turning Point USA halftime show, what their ratings are going to be. I'm curious about all this shit. Like, I don't think this has ever happened in history to where so many Americans are so pissed off at the Super Bowl halftime show that so many of them are committing to watching an alternative halftime show. I'm very interested. I'm going to report this shit back to y'all tomorrow morning. But the bottom line is, America is so tired of the agenda being pushed down their throat. The immigration agenda and the ubiquitous agenda. There's nothing wrong with immigration. There's nothing wrong with people coming to America. That's one of the beautiful things about America. The problem is what Joe Biden and them did, and they're correcting it. So all of you sissies need to just go home, let these people do their damn job, because you're not going to see a bunch of right-wing nut jobs outside the Super Bowl protesting Bad Bunny. They're just not going to watch. like regular people. Remember earlier when I said that rumor has it that Bad Bunny is going to wear a dress to celebrate the ubiquitous icons, and Americans are tired of this shit being shoved down their throat? More importantly though, all this ubiquitous stuff belongs with adults and adults only, but y'all keep targeting the church.
I'm trans, Norma.
Different name and pronoun.
All right, let me stop it right there. I'm gonna try to actually go to the footage. I'm gonna try to actually go to the footage of. I'm gonna try to actually go to the footage of with regards to him speaking on the halftime show, or actually going into the halftime show. Let me see. Let me go back. I got my setup is cold, y'all. So, you know, I got 4 different ways that I can hook up to YouTube and some other things. However, this at the moment, it's one of my easier ways where I can do my thing without necessarily getting bogged down with a little glitch. Probably need some more RAM or something like that. Whatever. You know, computer parts cost hella much nowadays. For some odd reason, within the last 2 years, man, the computer parts been going up. Man, I might not be able to go to him. Because, you know, this was yesterday, and I'll be watching all kind of stuff. Like, YouTube is one of my main sources of information. And the reason why is because I don't like to go to regular forms of media nowadays just to get a one-sided view of things when I got access to so much more stuff. This is where people like me and other YouTubers actually play a key role in shaping the minds and not allowing Americans to be propagandized by the agendas of these major media outlets. And so, I don't know. Let me see. I'll probably put it in somewhere over here. And the cool thing about it, this lab is old. Even though I can afford to get another one, it's like, why when this one still works? It's like, why when this one still works, right? I might have to key y'all into another piece because I can't find the piece that he did with regards to this. That just show you how much YouTube I be on, bro. Oh, matter. No. What's this dude name again? Oh, Brandon Jamal. That's Brandon Jamal, y'all. You know, all rights to the credits. All credits go to the creator when it comes to that. So let's go over here. Let's check it out.
I'm gonna give you the data. I don't know who this guy is. This ain't my style of music. I don't know who this dude is. I am amazed. Now I want y'all to know I don't have a dog in this fight. It's not gonna change whether I gotta get up and go to work in the morning the next day. You understand what I'm saying? But I understand why so many Americans did not want to see Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl. Like, bro don't even speak English like that in his songs. And then bro said, y'all.
So first of all, I'm glad that he didn't show up in a dress. I don't know if he changed his little wardrobe to get into something else, but because I didn't, like I said, I was doing other things. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. Man, I was just, you know, all kind of parties I could have went to, I didn't go to. But yet and still, I'm glad it appeared that he was not so much of trying to make a stance with regards to his natural performance that he, I guess, will regularly do. and took a stance not to do it, because I think that the backlash from that, just from his personal brand, would have been a lot worse than just being able to show the contrast in the ratings from the Turning Point Super Bowl alternative halftime show and the actual NFL halftime show.
Better be ready to learn some Spanish. Like, this is America, fam. You tripping? And I know so many Black Americans don't like to think that we're American, and I hate that for y'all because you disrespect all of the work that was done by our grandmothers, grandfathers, great-grandmothers, great-grandfathers, and so forth and so on. But especially the work that was done in the 60s. Y'all disrespect all that marching, all that legislation, all them fire hoses, all them dogs. Y'all disrespect all of
All
the
that.
corpses that were in American police precincts up until America got a conscience about how police treat Black people. Hell, policing in America has gotten better since 2012. Hell, since George Floyd, it's gotten better. It's gotten better. It's gotten better. The fact that police have to wear body cams, and if they don't have a body camera on, we question them. When my grandmother was walking the streets, nobody ever questioned police when they said anything. When my mama went to high school, it didn't matter that when she was in the band, she was better than the white girl who had the first chair flute. No matter how many times she challenged her, no matter how many times she outdid her, she would never get that first chair because she was Black. That's not the America we live in today because of the work done in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and so forth and so on. So, as a Black American, I am very proud of my heritage. I'm very proud of this country because it shows that the soul of America is ever changing for the better. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all want to live on a plantation so bad. Y'all want to act like we're not Americans. And all I have to say to you is, how dare you disrespect the work of your grandfather? They didn't.
And I would like to take it even further and go beyond the 60s. And I would like to go even further to the whole Civil War. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got the Korean War. You got so many wars, though, but for the most part, excuse the background noise, we are the people who wasn't able to actually migrate into this country, bro. I mean, we got forced to be in this country, and we had to fight for the rights that we ultimately have in this country at every step, at every angle. And here we are. This is the reason why I think that the Democratic Party should just be an obsolete party. They don't have a stance. They are, since the Civil War, they are particularly everything of what's wrong with this country. All the problems that is primarily with this country is coming out of the Democratic Party. And it's like, first of all, the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act, those were Republican agendas that President Lyndon B. Johnson got credit for because he was in office, you know what I'm saying? And those was actually Republican agendas to actually, you know, give us the civil rights that we were requesting for and the voting rights that we were asking for. Because Democratic run states were so bad at allowing Black people to vote, to be real about the whole situation. And so for you to just want to not have a deep respect, to go out here, do better, represent yourself well, in aspects of not only for yourself, but you're representing for the next man, is where we got to get back to in this country as a people.
Didn't do all of that work so you can feel oppressed when you're not. You're just not. 4.3 million people watching this shit, man. Y'all don't even be hearing me. You just want to dance. Hold up. I don't know who this lady is performing. 4.3 million people are watching this right now, y'all. 4.3 million. I was flabbergasted at 1.8, 1.9 million. All right, we finna watch Bad Bunny. Now, what I will never do is act like Bad Bunny don't be jamming. I like Bad Bunny. Once again, I was just letting y'all know why lots of Americans had a problem with this dude being the halftime performer at America's game. It makes sense. Bad Bunny and them just started, but Turning Point still got 4.3 million. Have you ever seen 4.3 million people watching anything live on YouTube? What? Like I said, one thing I will never do is act like Benito don't be jamming. And I'm not sorry if you confuse me telling y'all why lots of Americans didn't want to see Bad Bunny at the halftime. I'm not sorry that you confused that with me being mad about it. Like I said, I'm just letting y'all know what time it is. Nunca voy a decir que no me gusta Bad Bunny. Nunca voy a decir que no me gusta Benito. Nunca. Pero comprendo porque la gente de los Estados Unidos no quiere ver. Ew. I just seen two men grinding on each other real gross. It wasn't like long. They were doing the grind and they hit each other. But that's the first little bit of anything that I've seen. And I ain't gonna lie, Benito clean. You know what I'm saying? With his all white on, with he got shoulder pads on underneath. Bam, clean. Turner Point went from 4.3 to 4.2. He's still over 4 million. Like, that's absolutely insane. I speak Spanish. I love any opportunity to listen to Spanish music when I normally wouldn't listen to Spanish music because no tengo los oídos de español y me gusta palabras en la música. I like to know the words. Y cuando la música es en español, no sé las palabras porque no tengo los oídos en español. Tengo que pensar cuando están cantando or rapping. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's not off-putting watching a Super Bowl halftime show in Spanish. But to the average American, it's kind of weird, probably. I'm not saying they're offended, but they're like, bro, what the this is America's game. The Super Bowl halftime show. And ain't no English? Like, you have to understand why that's weird. 4 points.
I don't think it's necessarily weird because, you know, I don't ever recognize if you guys ever go to a K-pop concert. If you ever went to a K-pop concert, bro, you can't understand a word. It's like when a Korean pop artist finally say a word in English, like the crowd begins to roar. Like, okay, we can finally understand what you're saying. We got that part, yeah. Like, what the? So I don't necessarily think that it's not a normal, but what it was not is it is not for an American pastime. It wasn't necessary. And the reason why I go into this, right, and we got the views. I guess she's showing and displaying that the views for the halftime show with regards to the Turning Point USA presents the All-American Halftime Show. All-American Halftime Show, right? It's at 4.6 million watching, streaming live. So it went from 4.3, it went down to 4.2, and then it rearranged back up to 4.6 million. But what really matters here, right? And because now we have the instance of seeing how, you know, Americans feel. It disregard him, you know, being Hispanic, you know what I'm saying? Disregard all that because, you know, like I said, he started speaking Spanish. What's his name? Brandon Jamal started speaking Spanish. And I was like, actually, like, man, see, I kind of like, man, you know, some of them terms I knew and some of them terms I didn't know. It's not like I'm a person who actually didn't want to know Spanish. My people are from my ancestry, you know what I'm saying, Louisiana, you know, French. So my last name is French with that. So it's not like I've never been interested in learning another language. However, you know, when it's not in use a lot, you tend to actually forget it, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I could probably blame me and my fault. You know, I could probably watch more Spanish shows, you know what I'm saying? But to feel comfortable, who wants to do that when, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know why, make myself uncomfortable when, I can just go comfortable and go watch an English TV show. I think actually rap music, it became actually a cool way to begin to learn Spanish as well. However, this is what I want to detail on. And what I want to detail on is how Trump is bringing the ethos back into the country, bro. And this is what you got to respect. This is why you have got to be proud to be a Black American nowadays. And you should take honor, and it should be just love the fact that, man, what your ancestors did for you to be in this country, because of the fact that he's offering you something. They offered you something that nobody else can have in the world, bruh. Nobody else can have in the world. You are part of the greatest country in the United States, not let alone to the fact that with regards to how much your people has done for this country, in terms of helping it evolve into the system that it evolved into today. The inventions alone helps the economy, flat out. With the inventions, man, I sat on the throne the other day and I realized, like, man, thank God for that brother. Thank God for that brother right there who came up with that invention. Because, man, I'm more than anyway. Anyway, but the inventions alone, man, even the Confederate Army had to look at and went to war, primarily Democrat, by the way, to uphold a culture with regards to slavery, saying that enslaving these people, Black people, is the foundation of what this country is. Goes to show you how much of the United States of America is yours to claim. You should claim it. And this is the ethos that Donald Trump is actually trying to bring back into this country. And the NFL halftime show and the Turning Point USA halftime show was a very good display of what Donald Trump is trying to do for this country, man. And I can appreciate what he's trying to do for this country, because just the display of the ratings alone actually helps you begin to understand that, man. So if you don't like Donald Trump, understand that if we go to war, if you don't want to fight for your home, if we go to war, how are we supposed to have with anybody, with China, with Russia? If we go into a war, how is the ethos for the country to actually, for you to realize what you have is supposed to be there so you can go pick up that. Remember after 9/11, after the planes had hit them buildings, how many people had signed up to actually go participating into the military? You had people leaving the NFL. You had people leaving all kind of jobs to go and actually want to participate in military service. And with all this immigration, bro, if that begins to wane, then we have a problem in this country. We have a problem in this country if the people that come over here don't necessarily want to participate. While all of them should be thankful that they came over here after 1965 in the first place. If you came, for you to be in this country after 1965 as an immigrant, bruh, you should be thankful for the hard work of not only white America, but most definitely Black America. But Black America, be thankful, be proud of what you have, be proud of being in this country, and take care of it, bro. For white Americans as well, man, take care of your country, man. We have something to be proud of. We have a shared service in this country. And I think that if we get down to the nuts and bolts of not having so much immigration in this country, what we can ultimately do, we can ultimately begin to do what was supposed to be done after the making of the civil rights movement in the first place. And that is begin to bridge the gap that has been between us all this time to where we can actually go into, man, how much together than we are apart at this time in this nation. You know, and that Immigration Act in 1965, man, was, to me, destroyed that. Completely destroyed it. When you look at all the inventions that we have delivered into this country as Black people, how much of that you used every day in your households, from refrigeration, bro, to, like I said, the throne, the broom. I mean, man, the lights, bro. It's like, man, why wouldn't you want to call a Black man a brother? You know what I'm saying? Hey, anyway, I want to say congratulations to Donald Trump on this one, because I mean, you're doing your job, bro. You're doing exactly what you are set yourself out to do, and that is bringing the ethos back for the country with regards to citizenship and regards to having a passion with regards to being in this country. And because of that, it's a good day to be a soldier. Tiny Cross-H.U.G on the Trucked Up Live Show. Always remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.